Hey, everybody out there on YouTube. This is Story Dude, and I'd like to welcome you back to our channel where we're going to be reading and discussing the day's events as as they exist in the lives of various Redditors throughout the world. Today, we're going to talk about a woman who has told her daughter the truth about her father. And she's wondering if she is the a-hole. Why am I trying to reinterpret the title? This is ridiculous. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter the truth about her father? Much more clear. I got pregnant in college when I was 19. Her father was in the same position. Prior to doing the deed, I told him that if anything were to happen, I would not be getting an abortion. He said that he understood. When I got pregnant, he refused any contact with my baby or responsibility. He took things further by telling my friends and family that I planned the pregnancy to trap him, so they wouldn't judge his actions. This was untrue. He paid mandatory child support, but it wasn't much. It was hard, but I love my daughter and wouldn't change a thing. She's wonderful and smart, and she's my whole world. He reached out to me on Facebook saying that he wants to be in his daughter's life. He's married now. I did some stalking online, and his wife has frequently posted about her infertility struggle. I was against it because he's had no part of her life. It was me who had to drop out of college, work 2 jobs, endure the sleepless nights as a baby, and raise her. It was me that kept her belly full and kept her warm. He didn't give a damn. It was me that endured my friends turning against me and his family's harassment, and the judgment of society for being a young mom. And now that he wouldn't be sacrificing his young years, now that he's finished partying, now that he's got a degree and a job, and his wife can't give him kids to complete his picket fence life, he wants the kid that I raised for him, knowing he doesn't really have to do any work other than pick her up now and then. I told him my thoughts, and he got mad saying that I chose to have the baby and not him, which tipped things over for me. I asked him to prove that he thought about her, for example, a college fund that he's paid into with her in mind or with car money. He did not, which again proved to me that he only gave a crap when he couldn't make more kids. I spoke to my daughter, but I told her the type of person her father is. I told her that he has nothing for her, and I was honest about the fact that his wife is infertile, so he's reaching out. I told her everything and reiterated basically everything I said in the post. I told her to think about it, and I said I'd support her knowing him, but I affirmed that he is not a nice person and that his intentions are not what we would want. She chose to not know him. After I informed him, he got mad. He said I ruined his chance to know her and that I'm denying her a father. I told him that he was the one who did that. My mother told me I shouldn't have poisoned his image to her and that she probably feels rejected all over again and that she's probably hurting. I now feel like I have done wrong by her. Am I the a-hole? Edit. She is 16 now. Edit 2. If it wasn't for the infertile wife and lack of college fund or car money, showing evidence that he had at least thought about her, then I probably wouldn't have said anything to her about what he's like. But to me, those were red flags. Edit number 3. Frequently asked questions. He never told me he didn't want kids. He didn't tell me he wouldn't stick around for the kid when I told him I wouldn't abort before anything. Despite this, I am not mad he left. I'm mad that he returned for the wrong reasons, which could be harmful to my daughter. I'm not answering questions on how I got pregnant as this is not relevant. The amount of people I've had comment, well, were you on birth control? And the lack of, well, did he wrap it up? If you're trying to find out if I poked holes or lied about taking the pill, I did not. If you're about to accuse of unprotected sex, again, I did not. Do not ask why I didn't abort my daughter or refer to her as a consequence. This is rude and you know it. My choice to have my daughter was my choice alone and not his fault, therefore not relevant. Wow, okay. I'm going to go with everyone is the a-hole here, and I think that the OP kind of knows it. I mean, of course, she should have and did tell her daughter some facts about the father, but if you pay attention to what she told the daughter, she didn't tell the daughter facts. She told the daughter conclusions. She said that he's approaching them for the wrong reasons and that he's only doing it because his wife's infertile. Basically, she should have kept it to a minimum and just said, like, yo, your dad was not around, you know it, but he wants to be back in your life, and like kind of let your daughter, who's now 16, make up her own mind about what kind of man she is. But it seems like you really laid into him about some things that were true and some other things that you are like making conclusions about, which is uncool. Obviously, the father in this situation sounds like an a-hole too, but at Story Dude Productions, we believe that, people are allowed to try to redeem themselves and do not have to live with the weight of their past mistakes on their shoulders forever. On that note, let's see what people in the comments think. Not the a-hole, you are protecting your daughter from a potentially traumatizing and harmful situation. It is one thing for him to give up parental rights and for it to remain that way, but what he is doing is treating her like she is some sort of trend of the month. What is going to happen when he realizes she's a complex and multi-layered human being with lots of thoughts and feelings, and likely a lot of negative feeling towards him? I wouldn't trust him with properly taking care of an animal, let alone a child. I think here also the commenter's making some assumptions. It was not my understanding that the father wants to like become her father again. I think he just wants to like, get to know her like slowly, I think it's not about him suddenly becoming her like full-time father and stuff. And also, I think that we don't know how traumatizing the father will be to her. I don't know. I just think it's weird. I think that because the daughter's 16, it's like different. She's almost an adult. And, I think she has the right to know. And I think you kind of like spoiled it for her. That's my opinion. Anyway, I think this next commenter agrees with me a bit more. Part of me wants to say everyone is crappy here because you did poison her views of him, but who could blame you for that? He didn't give a darn for 16 years, and what he did when you were pregnant is indefensible. You didn't deny her a father. He did. He's nothing but a sperm donor and a stranger to her. Maybe someday she'll want to know him as an adult, but I can't imagine he will ever be her dad. You're not the a-hole. I guess I'm assuming that 16-year-olds are more mature than they are. Not the a-hole, but lawyer up and make sure that your custody and support agreements are ironclad. Wow, people are really like there's only 2 years left in her child's life. It's not like he's really going to try to steal her. I don't know. I think that people are making a lot of assumptions in this one. Not the a-hole. He chose not to be part of her life, paid a minimal amount of child support, painted you as a pariah, and because he and his wife are struggling to conceive, now he's interested in her after 16 years. Again, this is like a crazy assumption. You do not know this. This is like, what do they call it on those TV shows? Some sort of evidence that starts with a C. Circumstantial. It's circumstantial evidence. How convenient he has a backup child. Now she means something to him. You told her he was interested in pursuing a relationship with her and you'd support whatever decision she made. He hasn't been around for her entire life. You rejected her. She's well aware of it. You were frank with her, but I feel she needs to know what she's getting into because suddenly she's become a convenience. Had his wife been able to conceive, I wonder if he would still be interested in pursuing a relationship with her. I feel you did the right thing. Based on the age of your daughter, I have to say that you are not the a-hole. Your daughter is old enough to take what you have to say and form her own opinions. But come on, I don't know. You didn't give her the option of forming her own opinions. You just like told her all this crazy stuff that may not be true, especially that he is only trying to come back in his life because his wife cannot conceive. I mean, maybe that has something to do with it, but even if it does, I think that people have a natural desire to want to know their parents, and parents have a natural desire to want to know their kids. I think it's not rocket science or weird to me. If you had insisted that she not know him, I would have said you are the a-hole, but you just gave your opinion and said what happened from your perspective and let her make the final decision. Sure, your description wasn't flattering, but to be fair, how could you expect it to be anything but? All right, well, it seems like no one agreed with me there. It hurts. All right, let's go on to the next one. Am I the a-hole for telling my cousin that she ruined a family heirloom? I am a 26-year-old woman, and I have two cousins, a 33-year-old woman, and a 28-year-old woman. My oldest cousin, Jane, is married. My other cousin, Amy, just got married. I am single. Right before she got engaged last summer, our grandma gave Amy's fiancé, John, a diamond ring to propose with. The ring is gorgeous white gold and diamond ring that our grandpa gave her. He died when our dads were teens. My grandma has since remarried and always said that she'd pass on the ring. I won't lie, I've always loved that ring and hoped it would be for me, but I'm also the youngest cousin, so I tried to temper my expectations. Mostly, I was happy for Amy and glad that the ring was staying in the family, and Jane agreed. Fast forward to this weekend, which was Amy's wedding. Neither Jane nor I were in the wedding, but we both went to the hotel room where Amy was getting ready. She asked if we wanted to see the rings. We were both confused, but said sure. And what she showed us was a gargantuan, tacky engagement ring and wedding band set. I sputtered something like, "But I thought you were getting married with Grandma's ring." Amy just smiled and said, "Yeah, it is Grandma's ring." She explained that for her wedding gift, she asked John to upgrade the ring into this monstrosity since he didn't have to pay for a ring in the first place. One of the diamonds was Grandma's, and then the white gold melted down to make one of her wedding bands, but the rest was all new stuff. I burst into tears. I was so shocked and hurt. I told her she destroyed our grandparents' heirloom. If she wanted a giant diamond to wear every day, that's her choice, but the ring was important to our family. Amy got huffy and said she had to finish getting ready, so Jane and I left. Jane was also upset, but had the attitude of, "It's Amy's ring, nothing we can do now." I told her I didn't think Grandma would have given it to John and Amy if she knew she was going to take it apart. I found Grandma and asked her if she knew what Amy had done. Amy's mom had told her that Amy had to have it resized and have the setting fixed, but Grandma had no idea that it was made into an entirely new ring. She didn't say anything, but I could tell that she was upset. The wedding went on, but everyone could tell that there was some awkwardness between me and Amy and Jane, and Grandma is refusing to talk about the matter. Amy is saying that I owe her an apology, but I don't think I'm in the wrong for saying she destroyed a family heirloom. Plus, the fact that she didn't tell anyone what she was doing and misled Grandma says to me that she knew she was wrong, or at least it wouldn't have been condoned. I feel like she saw it as not a heirloom, but as a way to subsidize what she really wanted. I know the mature thing to do is just get over it and accept that it was given to Amy and she made her choice, but I'm finding it really hard to get over what she did. Am I the a-hole for feeling the way I do? Well, I don't believe that we should ever be blamed for the way we feel. We should be blamed on how we act on how we feel. And in this circumstance, I feel that, yeah, the OP is the a-hole for bringing it up right before the wedding. I think that is crazy. Don't say anything negative to anyone at a wedding. That's just pretend like everything's fine. But I think if you had told her afterwards or at any different time, that's totally your prerogative. You are entitled to have your opinions and you're entitled to express them in an appropriate way. And doing so right before your cousin's wedding is not an appropriate time for that. And I would go with your cousin sounds like an a-hole too. Oh, right. Not the a-hole. What kind of asshole takes apart a family heirloom? You can't be blamed for having an emotional reaction, and she's so trashy for what she did. Not the a-hole. Your cousin sounds selfish and ungrateful. Not the a-hole. If your cousin didn't want the ring as it was, she shouldn't have accepted it. That's what normal people do, not entitled a-hole. The deed is done and it was given to her. However, if she just wanted the diamond, she should have ideally kept the setting to pass on to others or even use it with a different stone. Perhaps ask your grandma if she has pics of the original setting so you can have it remade as an homage to your grandparents. I don't know. Am I the only one who thinks it's like you got to keep your mouth shut at someone's wedding? What is wrong with people? Or what is wrong with me? I don't know. Maybe... Not the a-hole for feelings. Amy missed the boat on what a family heirloom is. Damage done, move on, or stay angry and hurt. That's your choice. Interesting. All right. Well, I guess it's okay to just yell at people at their weddings. All right. Well, wishing you all a great day. This has been Story Dude, and we will catch you on the next episode. Y'all take care.